the most important, perhaps, part of a wedding is the ceremony, because without it, let's be honest, it's just a very expensive party.
Correct.
Really, it shouldn't be just a dull formality to get out of the way. It should be fun, inclusive, and reflect your values, sentiment, and humour. And that's what Fuze Ceremonies are all about. They create warm, meaningful wedding ceremonies that celebrate each couple's love story, values, and connection. With your day, your way at the heart of everything you do, they're friendly and experienced celebrants. Take time to get to know each couple, crafting ceremonies that feel personal, inclusive, and authentic. I'll tell you a quick bit about them before I pass over to them. So we have Cindy Cosgrove. She works full-time in the charity sector and is passionate about making a difference. She's a committed fundraiser and marathon runner, well done. And she brings dedication and genuine care to every ceremony she creates. Alan Edwards, you may have heard him on the radio. He has 15 years as a radio presenter under his belt. Inspired by speaking at humanist wedding and funeral ceremonies, he found becoming a celebrant to be a natural next step, allowing him to combine thoughtful writing with confident delivery. So without further ado, I'll hand over to you to tell us all about Fuze Ceremonies and what makes them so special. Thank you
very much.
Great. Thank you. Welcome, everyone, to
Nice to see you all.
Let's Talk Tying the Knot. I'm Cindy.
And I'm Alan, as you heard. And as you've heard already, this is all about the most important part of your wedding ceremony, of the day itself, and really how this can make the whole thing be absolutely 100% about you.
Yeah. And so your ceremony is the only part of the day where everyone you love is in one place listening to your story. You are the reason they're there. And that ceremony really sets the tone for the rest of the day.
Now, a wee important bit to start. Myself and Cindy and all our colleagues at Fuze Ceremonies, we are all legally authorised to marry you. So that's an important thing to check, because you might meet a celebrant and you think they're quite funny, or you like the look of them and how they dress, etc. But you need to make sure that the person who's doing the ceremony is legally authorised to marry you. Otherwise, as we said, it's just a very expensive party with very expensive outfits, and then you're having to go to a registry office to do that bit later on. So make sure the person you're going to book who's writing the ceremony is able to legally marry you on the day. And then you've got no stress. Not everybody can do it, so that is the one question you should absolutely ask. And as I said at the beginning, myself and Cindy and all our colleagues, we absolutely can.
And so when you're all thinking about your ceremony and your day, what are you thinking about? What are you most nervous about? Because I'm sure you're all nervous about something around the ceremony. I can tell by people's faces that you are nervous.
Yep. Is it being the centre of attention? Everybody looking at you? Is it speaking in public? Yeah. Well, it happens.
Yeah. All those examples. That's exactly why we're here. We're here to make you feel more comfortable and confident in creating your ceremony, so that when you do stand up that day, you are relaxed, and we can help you be relaxed as well. So, question for you, Alan.
Go on then.
When couples first come to you, what do they usually say that they're most nervous about when planning their ceremony?
Well, it is those things that we talked about. Being the centre of attention, everybody looking at you, even though it's your family and your friends, it's all about you. Speaking in front of people, and almost feeling in a way that you need to perform, that it's like a show or something like that. But a lot of couples, if we go back to that first one, standing up in front of everybody. So for people like ourselves, Cindy, what do we do to help make everybody feel a wee bit more at ease?
Yeah, so I think being honest with couples from the start really helps. So almost everybody is nervous. That is completely normal. So you're not alone in that fear. Just think it's not a performance. It's excited. It's not fear. Even my groom yesterday said, I'm really nervous, but I think it's just because I'm excited. And that's exactly right. So when you know that your nerves are normal, and they are, then you'll start to feel a little bit differently about it. So I just like to remind couples that they're not speaking to a crowd. You're speaking to each other. So just imagine it's just you and your partner in the room. Everyone is there to support you and celebrate you. And I'd like to give you a few tips to help you along the way. So look at each other. Don't look at those guests. hold hands if you need to, give them a wee squeeze. You're usually a bit sweaty as well, but that's normal. And just take a pause and a breath as well. So when you get to the top of the aisle, just breathe and just relax. And I'll always remind people to do that. And your shoulders are relaxed, and then everybody else in the room will relax as well. And that's really working with people like Alan and I, that will help you be relaxed in that moment.
Yeah, we're there for you all the way through it. And then by the time your wedding day comes, you've got to know your celebrants so well that you feel there's somebody who gets you 100%. They're there with you. They're on your side. They're there to keep you right, with you all the way, really.
And so another question, Alan. A lot of couples worry that the ceremony is going to feel a bit awkward, a bit boring, maybe. People think, oh, not very exciting. Like, what will our ceremony look like? How do you say to that?
Well, what we're trying to do is we're trying to banish the notion that the ceremony is the boring bit you've got to sit through before the bar opens and you can start to have a party. So my job and Cindy's job and all our job, we're there to make sure the ceremony is uniquely you. Everything you're doing is because it reflects your personality, your character, your story. So I will spend loads of time getting to know my couples. It's especially great if you follow them on social media and you see the build up and you get excited with them. And find out what makes you tick, what makes you laugh. You know, if you've got your own unique language that the two of you understand and nobody else does. And then what I do is I build a ceremony script. And essentially, it isn't a script like a script for a show. It's a story. It's bringing your journey together to life. And it's all about keeping the flow and keeping the energy and bringing in the heartfelt moments that deserve that, but also mixing in a bit of lightness, a bit of warmth, a bit of humour. A wee bit of humour helps you to feel more relaxed as well. If everybody in the room's laughing, that's going to help settle you a wee bit. And we want your guests to feel like they're part of it as well. They're not just sitting watching something as it's going on. And when we're building the ceremony, we guide you through absolutely everything. Where you stand, where you put your hands, when you can breathe and relax and be present. And as long as you feel comfortable, then your ceremony is not going to feel awkward at all. It just, to be honest, it feels real. And the personalisation part, that's not about being over the top. It's just about you listen to what's being said and you recognise yourselves in what is being said.
Yeah, and it's exactly that. It's hearing that and going, yeah, that's us. That sounds like us, and that's important.
So when we're creating ceremonies, Cindy, how do we put one together that is meaningful, but it also isn't too long either?
Yeah, it's really important that every part of your ceremony is meaningful and it has a purpose. I always say to people, don't just do stuff for the sake of doing it. Oh, well, I've seen a couple of readings, I better do some readings. Oh, I've seen a hand fasting, I better have that. Do what is meaningful to you. Don't just do stuff for the sake of doing stuff. So I always focus on telling the couple's story in a way that's engaging and real. It's not listing every life event and every single thing that you've done together. Finding the wee moments, the things that make you tick, and sharing that with everyone in the room. I like to think that everybody in that room knows you in a different way. So you have parents, siblings, grandparents that have known you from day dot. You'll have friends that have come into your life, maybe school, college, uni, work friends, wherever it may have come from. And then maybe only people in the room that know you as a couple. They didn't know you as two individuals. So kind of thinking about the back to the beginning, how you met, what your first impressions were, that kind of stuff, and telling that story, reminding you both of the journey that you've been on as well. And when all of that flows really well, it won't feel long, it'll feel really natural. And guests will always remember how the ceremony made them feel. And there's no better compliment. I always think this is a compliment to the couple, not to me, but when people come up to me at the end of a ceremony and say, that was really nice. You really captured Alan and Kate so well. How long have you known them? And you think, well, I've only known them a couple of months, but they've got to know me, I've got to know them, and I've been able to share that in a really meaningful way.
It goes back to that thing that we're all part of the human connection, and feeling, we do anyway, that we're part of your ceremony as well as you and your guests. And the best ceremonies are when you take time, when you meet a couple, when you get to know them, and you really, really listen to what they've got to say, and you listen to their story. And then you're actually not thinking about how long have I been sitting here? You're not thinking about that because you're invested in it and you're enjoying it so much. Now, generally speaking, a ceremony is about half an hour. That's your your ballpark. But the important thing is they're not going to be too long that by the end of it your feet are absolutely louping. Not going to be anything like that at all.
And the thing that couples really love about their ceremony is having options. And that's what we're there to do, to help you.
Part of our job is to figure out what is meaningful to you and not just the thing that you saw that looks good on TikTok or Instagram or Pinterest or anything like that. And this is the point when you're speaking to couples, they realise that ceremony actually can be quite enjoyable.
And so our humanist ceremonies put the couple at the centre. So it's not about tradition, it's not about religion, it's not about, well, this is just the way it's always been done.
You keep the things in it that matter to you and your partner. And importantly, you leave out the things that don't, and they don't come anywhere near it. Now, one of the beautiful things about modern ceremonies is that you can include meaningful symbolic gestures. Not because you have to, but because you would like to. And these are the moments that can add a wee bit of personality or heritage. Maybe it's family meaning or something that is just really, really you.
And so there's loads of gestures. We're not going to tell you all of the gestures today, but we'll tell you a couple of them. So you might have noticed this broom to my left and thought,
She's
what
going
on
to
earth
clean
is that?
after we're finished.
So we have a gesture called jumping the broom. And jumping the broom is a powerful symbol of stepping into married life together. So historically, it comes from African American and Celtic traditions. And today, couples use it as a joyful, we're in this together moment. And so this is what that is.
Beautifully decorated as well. Tying the knot. Now, everybody knows what that means, but where does that actually come from, that expression? Well, that is from Celtic times in Scotland, and it was represented here by hand fasting. That's the name of the gesture. And it's got its roots in Scottish history. Like I say, it's where tying the knot comes from in the first place. So in Celtic times in Scotland, rather than exchanging rings, you were bound together by two lengths of fabric that could be tartan, they don't have to be, but once you've got the knot tied, you've got it as a keepsake forever. And certainly it's one of the ones we do when people see it for the first time, they maybe never heard of it, it really sticks in the mind and they think, wow, that was such a lovely, lovely thing to do.
And then you may have seen a quaich before, so the two-handled Scottish drinking cup. It's also known as the loving cup. And couples drink from it to symbolise sharing life's joys and challenges together. And sometimes we also invite guests to join us and take part in that moment too. So quite often if we've signed the marriage schedule, this can be your first act of marriage. You can fill your quaich with whatever you want. So I have done it with traditionally whiskey or water. I've done it with iron brew, with gin and tonic, whatever your tipple of choice is.
Mad Dog.
I've not had that one.
You can also use candles in your wedding in a really meaningful way. So what we do often is we light two individual candles. Now you pick two guests to do that. Sometimes people pick their mums. It could be anyone at all. And they represent you both individually, your individual lives until your wedding day. And then you take those candles and together you light a third one. And that is your unity candle. And that can be quite meaningful as well if you're from different backgrounds, different cultures, things like that. What you can also do is you can light a memory candle. If you want to pay tribute to any loved ones or friends who've passed on, you're able to do that as well. And that's a way of including them in the ceremony. And there's also traditions, some Slavic traditions, where parents will pass a lit candle to a couple, and that symbolises the transfer of care, of warmth, responsibility from that generation to the next. And historically, the symbol of fire will represent the well-being and the continuity of the home.
So we've told you about a couple, and now we'll demonstrate a couple. And you guys can decide which ones we actually demonstrate for you. So if I could have a show of hands of what you want to see. So if you want to see jumping the broom, give us a raise of your hands. You're intrigued.
One over there.
Tying the knot. You want to see the tying the knot?
Quite a few.
And drinking from the quaich. You get to see. Perfect.
Yeah.
So Pearl, will we go with tying the knot?
Tying the knot?
Yeah.
Go with that.
I will hand over to you. And do we have a willing couple that would like? This one is not legally binding.
This is not legally binding if you do this today, but does anyone want to come up and see how it's done? Don't be shy. We do all the work, by the way. You just have to stand there and look great. Oh, there we go.
I'll hold the baby. Alan can do the.
Uh-huh.
Will she be okay?
Yeah. That's fine.
Well, yeah.
What's your name?
Isabel,
Isabel, lovely. Where are you from, Isabel?
Spain.
Oh, lovely. Hola. Buenas tardes.
Hola.
¿Cómo estás? And your name? Antonio, you from Spain as well?
Italy.
Ah, fabulous. Cultures coming together. Okay. So have you seen the hand fasting before?
No.
No. Okay. Right. So this is good because you only need one hand each. You can hold the baby there. So what I want you to do is I want you to join your left hands together, just one over the top of the other. That's perfect. Okay. So what we do is we have two ribbons. So what the first knot represents is one partner's love for the other. And we tie that in a little loose knot just underneath like this. Okay? And then Isabel, I'll give that to you to hold safe.
What?
You just hold just now, yep. And then what we do with the second knot, I know it's exciting, is that comes through the bottom here. And then that gets tied at the top like that. And by the way, different celebrants will do this slightly differently. This is just the way I do it because it works.
Oh.
There we go. And then I'll give that to you to hold, sir. And then, good catch. And then what we do is we do the blessing of the hands. So we say, you're holding the hands of your best friend. These are the hands that will passionately love and cherish you through the years. These are the hands that will give you strength and support when you need it. And as your hands are joined together now, so may your hearts. They're not just getting tied in advance here. So what to do is pull your hands away, your joined hands away, and then take one end of the ribbon in each hand. So, yep. And then pull them as tight as you can. Yep. And then raise them up like that. There we go. That deserves a wee clap, everybody. And you see what we've got here is a salt tire of sorts. So once that knot is tied, that is yours to keep. And you've got that for the rest of your days. So there you go. That is the tying the knot.
Thank you.
Gracias.
De nada.
There you go.
We
So that's the
probably-
hand fasting. And like we said, it doesn't have to be tartan. You can use some brides, for example, will use a cutting of their wedding dress. I've even had people weaving together material from clothes belonging to perhaps a deceased relative, a parent, and that's a lovely way of honouring them as well. So, yeah, loads of options.
We probably have time if we want to do maybe the drinking from the quaich. That was the second popular one. Does anyone want to do the drinking from the quaich?
It involves drink,
You can have a wee prosecco or water.
or you can have water if you're driving.
Water.
Water.
Oh, okay. she's being sensible. Agua sin gas.
Agua sin gas. You know a lot of Spanish.
Poco. Poco. I was in Fuerteventura on my holidays last week, so I've been practicing.
I see.
So Isabel and Claire. Perfect. So this is how I would introduce drinking from the quaich. Isabel and Claire are now going to drink from the quaich, the traditional two-handled Scottish drinking cup. It's also known as a loving cup. And there are many stories about its history, but it's mainly associated with welcoming, sharing, and understanding. Now, I mentioned earlier, traditionally a quaich would often be filled with whiskey. However, today, Isabel and Claire are going to fill theirs with some water. And this is where we could mention that this quaich is actually Isabel's granddad's quaich, and he got it as a retirement gift. And so this actually is really meaningful within the family, and that's why we're using it today. Now, sometimes if we have whiskey, we might say that Claire's dad's favourite whiskey was a Macallan, and that's why we're drinking that. And so we can mention family, people, and reasons of why we're including these traditions as well. So drinking from the quaich is part of the ancient tradition of hospitality from the Celtic honour system, and whoever who shared a cup could not do harm to the other. It's a symbol of trust, love, and peace between two people. And it's symbolic of the pledge that Isabel and Claire have made to one another, and of the lives, although they're separate until this moment, and very much are separate until this moment, you're now going to symbolise your commitment to share all that the future may bring. And so then you can either have one of you guys pour into the quaich, or you could invite a guest up, or one of us can pour, and we would pour into the quaich as much or as little as needed. If it's whiskey, people sometimes want more or less. I would then hand the quaich to one of you. And I will say, Isabel and Claire, drink now, and may the cup of your lives be full to running over. And now, I appreciate you are strangers, so if you both do not want to drink from the same quaich, you don't have to.
My maid of honor.
Oh, there we
Oh, we're all good here then. So you, Isabel, take the first drink. And as you share this drink, your first as wife and wife, we wish you joy and fulfillment in the years to come. And you would take a drink. Drink now to the love that you've shared in the past. And drink to your love in the present on this your wedding day. And then I would have you both drink again. Now, if you do want to invite friends or family members up to join, we can get other people up to join as well. So we might at that point either invite people to the front or equally take the quaich over to the front row and offer it to people there. And in that instance, we usually have to top up the quaich a couple of times. But usually, if you do your final drink, drink now from the quaich, sharing this drink, your first act of marriage. We wish you joy and fulfillment in the years to come. And then you would both take your final drink. And usually, whenever somebody's finishing it, there's usually a bit of a...
It's only a little bit.
And it works great for photos as well, and everyone will give you a round of applause. So that is drinking from the quaich.
There you go.
Thank you both, Isabel and Claire.
Traditionally, you're supposed to turn it upside down and put it on your head to prove it's finished. Generally, it's only guys that have lost their hair that do that.
So we'll just finish up on why Fuze, why people like Alan and I and our team of celebrants. Choosing a celebrant that's beyond personality is what matters. So we are legally authorised, we're fully trained and insured, we have lots of experience. I've been a celebrant for 10 years this year and Alan's been one for many years as well. We've got a full backup system in place as well. Our marriages are crucially legally binding. And our calm experiences matter more than people realise too.
Calm is good.
So the ceremony is where your day really starts to feel real, really sets the tone for the rest of the day, where those nerves turn into excitement. And when it's right, couples always tell us it's the favourite part of the day.
As it should be. We're going to open up the floor. If anyone's got any questions, then feel free to give us a shout.
Yeah, if anyone's got anything to ask, I can run out with the mic.
Don't ask me in Spanish, Isabella. I only know some of it.
Okay, so actually, because he's Italian and I'm Spanish, but the wedding is Scotland,
Yes,
we need 3 languages.
of course, yes.
So I know I don't know how that would work at all. Like, I don't know if any celebrant here would like do it in Spanish as well, or Italian, or both, or because we will have people coming from Italy, from Spain, but we will also have obviously people from here
Yeah,
that they don't speak.
English. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so how does
had-
that work?
I've had that quite a lot
Question?
and done it in various different ways. So where one couple is Spanish or their family are Spanish and they're there and English isn't their first language, quite often I've printed out the whole script for them in advance and they've got that to refer to in their own language, translation by yourself probably. So they have something physical that they could use. Equally, where I say some things in English and you maybe have a family member who comes up and says something in either of those languages as well. So having that personal element. I actually had a couple where she was Spanish and he was Scottish. He surprised her and did his personal vows in Spanish, which was amazing. Everybody else in the room that only spoke English didn't know what he was saying. So then later on, he also said them in English. So there's ways that you can incorporate that. And I don't know if you've had experience.
I've had a couple in the past. I did one wedding a few years ago for 2 girls. One of the girls is Swedish. So I learned at the very least how to say hello, welcome and good afternoon in Swedish. So I practiced and I did that. And her family actually said to me afterwards that they really, really appreciated that. I think it's a nice, respectful thing to do. I did similar last year. Again, it was 2 girls, actually. One of them was from Germany. And the same thing, they were delighted. But I've actually got a wedding coming up in May, and it's for an Italian couple. And they have actually said, as Cindy I've alluded to, once I give them the ceremony script and it's all finalised, they will then translate it and then be able to give copies to any family members or friends who don't speak English or don't fully understand English. So you would get your script from your celebrant in plenty of time, and that will allow you to do that and make the relevant translations. But certainly I think we all try and make a little bit of an attempt to habla un poco de español.
And some of our celebrants do speak other languages as well. So
Yeah.
Oskar, who was here yesterday, he speaks Polish, and we've got very talented team members as well.
Yeah,
So
some people are fluent in other languages and would be able to do a little bit more.
the legal vows obviously would be in English, but apart from that, yeah, full flexibility.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. That was a great question. Thanks for asking. The guys will hang about for a few minutes if anyone's got any questions you'd like to ask on a one-to-one basis.
Yeah, feel free.
But you can see them up on stand H18. Yep, just over at the far side of the show along there. So thank you very much.
No bother. Thank you for having
Great
us.
having you on board. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you
Beth.
all. Thank you for coming.